Iceland, the land where there is always winter, but never Christmas. Christmas.
Hey!
Good morning. I extend a welcome greeting to you all. For those of you who are unfamiliar with our program, I'm Emily, and I'm here reporting with my friend Megan. It seems to be that Megan is currently surviving in Iceland. She's been able to record and send me feed from her current location in Iceland. Now I'll turn it over to you, Megan.
Good morning from Reykjavik, Iceland. We're going to be discussing what the business environment in Iceland is really like. The business environment in Iceland is fast-moving, focused, and company-friendly. It's not restricted by complex regulations or burdened with a heavy system of taxation. That's pretty impressive. Iceland has a highly educated workforce, which is ranked among the highest in the world. They offer competitively priced renewable energy with an advanced infrastructure, which makes Iceland the ideal location for investors.
Thank you for joining me for that video excerpt from Megan. I would now like to transition you over to our radio broadcast. Thank you for joining me on today's radio broadcast. I'm your host, Ella Tompis. Seeing that Iceland is our topic of choice for the broadcasting network for this week, I have invited a guest speaker to join our regular program with more information on the business aspect of Iceland. I now present to you live feed from the Icelandic hotel room of our business correspondent, Victoria.
Iceland has methodically made its business environment progressively attractive for investment and location. This series of tax cuts, among other things, now give Iceland one of the lowest levels of corporate income tax in Europe. The Nordic countries have close ties to the United States culturally and historically. Chances are, Eric the Red and his son Nick Erikson both visited North America over 1,000 years ago. English is widely understood. Business agreements are reliable, and commuting within the Nordics is easy to organize. Business meetings generally begin with an exchange of business cards, and Icelanders are straightforward and concise throughout. They also like to just get to the point of the subject at hand. Individuals in Iceland take great care over their appearance, and it is certainly expected that you should dress smartly for any formal occasion when doing business in Iceland.
Thank you, Victoria, for that fantastic report about Iceland's business environment. Now I will transition you over to audio feed that was recorded earlier this week with our Icelandic cultural specialist, Francis Darnell, who covers the racial diversity and basic language of Iceland. Racial diversity is definitely lower than in most of the neighboring countries. There was very limited immigration to Iceland before the 90s. In 1996, around 2% of the population were immigrants, but by 2008, that percentage had risen to 8%. The Icelandic language is incredibly difficult for foreigners to learn. The grammar is quite complicated, all vowels appear in two forms, and the alphabet contains 4 letters from the Old English language. Though Icelandic is a language used throughout the country, many people in Iceland do speak English fluently and are quite willing to speak it with foreigners. Danish, German, and French are also taught in school and widely spoken among the younger generations. You may encounter a few people who are less familiar with English, but if you visit Iceland, you will manage to communicate just fine without knowing one bit of Icelandic. However, for fun, I will teach you some basic Icelandic words starting with hello. Hello is pronounced halló. Yes is pronounced ja or you for answering a negative question. No is pronounced nei. Goodbye can be said several ways. Farvel is very formal and should only be used with complete strangers. Goodbye, informally, is bless, or often said twice, bless, bless. A special thanks to Francis Darnell for joining our radio broadcast today. Next, we have another news report from Victoria's Icelandic location. Again, Here is Victoria with information on Iceland's cultural perspective on space and time.
Icelandic companies are generally more efficient as opposed to those in other countries. The country lacks the widespread hierarchies that are well known throughout Europe and North America. You should not be shocked if you're sitting down for a meeting with one of your colleagues and notice that the CEO walks in for a direct chat with you or both of you. Icelanders use English to conduct business. And here's a fun fact for you. Icelanders learn English at age 9 and 10. Icelanders truly appreciate directness and honesty. Appointments are made in advance, and a 24-hour clock is used to avoid misunderstandings. Punctuality is respected, so if you know that you are running late, be sure to let the meeting host know. Meeting over coffee, a drink, or dinner is quite common during business transactions. Standard office hours are Monday to Friday, 9 till 5, although many firms alter this to 8 to 4 during the summer. If you are traveling to Iceland on business, you're likely to be invited to experience something in the country. Do be mindful to always show your sincerest interest, because that is very important to Icelanders and it is proper etiquette as well.
Iceland is notorious for its open-minded business culture that adopts innovation and new opportunities. Despite their past economic hardships, Iceland exhibits a vigorous investment climate due to the country's sound infrastructure, well-educated workforce, and rapid recovery model. The Icelandic government is devoted to enforcing international standards and best business practices, which is another great incentive to consider for doing business in Iceland.